Hello everyone, and let's do a book talk for The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. This is set in California. It takes place in 2019, and I heard when I listened to the audiobook while I read this, it said Helen Hoang, not Helen Hoang, which is how I hear everyone say it. So I think it's actually supposed to be Helen Hoang, unless the narrator is wrong. So the audiobook that I listened to was narrated by Carly Robbins, and it was 9 hours and 36 minutes on standard one-time speed. And this book is told in third person. This is part of a trilogy. This is very much an adult. It is sexually explicit, and this is a romance/contemporary. This is book number 1 in the Kiss Quotient trilogy. Book number 2 is the Bride Test, and I don't recall what number 3 is, but I do now own book number 2, so at some point I'll be getting to that to continue the series. This edition that I read is paperback, and it was 314 pages. So what is this about? For this one, we are following 2 POVs. Sometimes you don't know whose POV you're starting in until it kind of gets a couple of sentences into it, or the first sentence you may know, but because it'll start to refer to, like if it's from the male's point of view, it'll keep saying, Stella is this, my Stella, and things like that, who is the main female character. And then if it's from Stella's point of view, she'll be talking about how being autistic is sometimes difficult, or talking about the man that she's wanting to be in a relationship named Michael. So Stella is 30. She is an economist, specifically working with data. There's a certain term for it, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but it has to do with being an economist. She is diagnosed with Asperger's, but she does refer to autism quite a bit. Asperger's is autism, okay? It used to be that someone like myself would be diagnosed with Asperger's. Like if I was diagnosed 5, 10, 8 years ago, they would have diagnosed me as having Asperger's. But now it's all underneath the autism spectrum. So we don't really use Asperger's anymore. People that were diagnosed with having Asperger's will still occasionally use it. But for someone like myself that was diagnosed just as being on the autism spectrum, Asperger's is no longer used just because of the connotation with someone that worked with Hitler in the Nazi concentration camps, or who worked for Hitler, and that's why. So we do have autism representation in this. Michael is half Swedish, half Vietnamese, and he works as an escort. He also has a second job, which I'm not going to say because you do find out more about that. There's one point that Stella stumbles upon him in his quote-unquote day job, and so you find out more about that, and it kind of leads up to his family history and why he is in the male escort business the way that he is. And he is very much into sword fighting. There are references to kung fu and martial arts, things like that, as his passion. Stella lights up when she talks about data in her economy job or economics job. It fascinates her. She doesn't have to worry about, like, it's black and white. It's either the answer is either this or it is that, or it's wrong type of a situation. Whereas people are so complex, and so there's a lot of references to Stella excelling at her job because of the hyper focus and obsessive actions and things like that. So you do get a lot of what she struggles with, and where someone would see her autism as a struggle is actually a benefit, like in her job. So Stella has determined she doesn't like kissing, she doesn't like having sex. It's very awkward, she doesn't know how to read people, and when she does have sex, the men finish, basically the man orgasms before she does, and then they leave her high and dry without having an orgasm. And so she's like, I need someone to teach me how to properly flirt and how to properly have sex. And so she hires a male escort, which happens to be Michael, and they strike up this deal. He's going to help her. He's one session and that is it, but he does take on a few more sessions with Stella. That is the whole point of the book. It is a romance between Michael and Stella, especially as they get to know each other more. They both have secrets. Stella's trying to keep her autism hidden from him. Michael is trying to keep his past. and why he is in the escort business, A Secret from Stella. And then instead of this being about sex education or sex lessons for how to have sex, it turns into how to be a girlfriend, how to be in a relationship, and things like that. And then it's a romance, feelings evolve, and people second guess their own feelings, but then they're sure about their feelings, but then they second guess the other person's motives and their actual feelings. And that is the story. Okay? What are your content and your trigger warnings? So you have sexually explicit language in this. You are seeing them have sex. It is very much open door. Some other content and your trigger warnings is you do have someone talked about as having lung cancer. You have an affair referenced quite a bit, as well as someone who likes to take advantage of women, as far as in this person seeks out to con and swindle women. It's a man doing that to a woman, as well as someone basically not taking no for an answer, like leaning in for a kiss and being told no and then keep trying to advance, type of a situation. So you have someone who doesn't take no for an answer. As far as your representation, you do have the autism. You have Vietnamese, Swedish. You also have, there is like one sentence in this book where it talks about someone being Indian, not Native American. The word Indian is specifically used. This was published in 2019. I am leaning towards like this is someone who is maybe from India, is what I'm leaning towards, but it's just a very brief mention, basically about the Indian couple or something like that. So you don't get information on that. And that is your representation. And so let me now get into the word usage in case you're like, okay, it sounds interesting. I don't mind open door sex, but if there's a word that comes up that you want nothing to do with, then you'll know to avoid this book. So, or if there's a word that comes up that you really don't like, but it only comes up once out of, like my edition was 314 pages, and you'll say, okay, I can tolerate it the one time, but if it's 5 times or more, the answer is no. So that's why I go through these words. So let's get into it. Again, please be aware, these words are, a lot of them are just quote unquote vulgar, they're cuss words, or they are very sexual words. Okay, we have the following words: asshole, 10 times, virgin, 3, do it, once, shit, 32, balls, 6, arouse, 9, cock, 9, stroke, once, plunge, once, hell, 22, horny, once, hard ass, once, damn, 4, turn on, once, shitload, once, hard, 8, the word God, 14, not in religious context, breast, 13, nipple, 28, wet, 6, ass kicking, once, damn it, once, the phrase goddamn, 5, piece of shit, once, ass, 11, badass, twice, dick, 3, bastard, 6, hand job, twice, get off, once, jerk off, once, missionary, 3, intercourse, once, blowjob, once, doggy style, once, cowgirl, once, foreplay, 5, jackass, once, virginity, once, porn star, twice, tip, 7, areola, twice, erotic, twice, bulge, twice, orgasm, 8, wise ass, once, blue balls, once, jack off, twice, pussy, 9, cum, 5, C-O-M-E, bitch, once, opening, once, clitoris, 4 times, oral, 4, go down on, once, prostitute, once, penetration, once, thrust, 8, little bird, once, folds, 5, sweet potato, twice, clit, 6, hard on, twice, ride, once, erection, twice, length, 3 times, debauched, once, drove, twice, impalement, once, tits, 3 times, milk, once, tight, once, box, once, lady V, once, it, once, vagina, once, boobs, once, dickhead, once, motherfucker, once, pump, once, kink, once, son of a bitch, once, and then the word fuck 64 times. So that is this book. Now, let's go to the about the author. And it says, I'm going to say Helen Hoang because that's how it was said in the audiobook. So Helen Hoang is that shy person who never talks until she does. And then the worst things fly out of her mouth. She read her first romance novel in 8th grade and has been addicted ever since. In 2016, she was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in line with what was previously known as Asperger's syndrome. Same for me. Her journey inspired the Kiss Quotient. She currently lives in San Diego, California with her husband, 2 kids, and pet fish. And then it has a website for her, which I will try to list the website in the description box. So that's about the author. There's a couple of things I underlined, so I'll just read a few of them. It says, girls like me intimidate boyfriends away. Girls like me have never been asked out by a single boy. Girls like me have to find their own way, make their own luck. I have never been asked out. I've never had a boyfriend, never been kissed, never nothing. Okay. Sitting on your hands prevents fidgeting and feels good. Yeah, I do that. Fighting was her absolute favorite thing. When people fought, it always felt like a personal attack for her. It didn't matter if she was just a bystander. That's how I feel about confrontation. I want nothing to do with it. But yeah, I watch this stuff on YouTube, but then I think I'm so enough removed from it. Like, it happened in the past. It's already done. They're going through the legal stuff. So I'll watch body cam videos, people getting arrested, people that are drunk, people that are acting entitled. And I enjoy watching that stuff, but if it was happening right in front of me, couldn't deal with it. But watching it back and having someone else, like this commentator, every now and then making some comments about it, that's different. So anyway, let me know, have you read The Kiss Quotient? Have you read anything else in this series? I have heard you can read them out of order, but I will be going in order. And if you have read this, did you enjoy it or not? Definitely let me know. If you have been on the fence with this, now knowing what is in this book, is this one that you will go ahead and pick up or will give it a pass? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.